2 episodes of One Punch Man Season 3 have aired so far, and let's be real, it's not looking too great. Of course, episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they could be phenomenal. The fights could be banging. But we all gotta admit that Season 3 has not started with their best foot forward, if that's the case. So, while I don't think One Punch Man Season 3 has been phenomenal, I also don't think it's been as bad as people are saying it is. And the reason why I say that is because I watch a lot of generic slop. Isekais, harems, rom-coms, you name it, I've probably watched it. One Punch Man is down there. Is that passable? Yeah, 100%. But is it good? No, not by any means. And what makes it even worse is that because this is One Punch Man we're talking about, because it comes off of such a fantastic manga, because season 1 was so great, the bar for One Punch Man is a lot higher than all the generic slop that I watch. And I understand that. I think that is actually a very fair point. You know, it's like JJK or Demon Slayer or even Chainsaw Man. We expect higher highs from One Punch Man than the average anime because it does rake in money, because it is a beloved IP. And I think that is a very fair criticism. I think that is a good reason to raise the bar higher, right? It's kind of like a video game where if you buy a game from an indie dev and let's say it's 10 hours long, let's say there's not a lot of mechanics or the graphics aren't that great, you expect that. That's fine. But when you're buying a game from a AAA publisher, you expect an entirely different realm of quality. That's kind of how it is for One Punch Man compared to that time I got reincarnated as a vending machine, for example. And that right there is where a lot of the problems arise. We, the fans, expect a certain product, and we're not exactly getting it. And for me, at least, it's jarring because I'm currently rewatching Chainsaw Man for the 3rd time. And the quality in Chainsaw Man blows One Punch Man out of the water. And here's the thing, I get it. That might not be the fairest comparison because Fujimoto is going for that, cinematic approach. But just like One Punch Man, they've got a great manga to base it off of. One Punch Man could do that if they wanted to. I get that's not the vibe they're going for, but man, the quality difference is just so stark. Like One Punch Man Season 3, it's not going to win any awards. It's not going to be nominated. And it sucks to see, man, because it has that potential. It really does. And I think a lot of people also thought that we would get that quality this time around because Season 2 was so ass. I think a lot of people expected that Season 3 would be much better because of that. Because the fans were so vocal on how much they hated Season 2, they're like, okay, surely the animators or the production studio, they know what we want, right? They know that Season 2 isn't exactly acceptable. So Season 3, they're gonna lock in. They're going to put their best foot forward. They're going to do their hardest to bring us a great product. And then, of course, we had a 6-year wait. 6 years in between Season 2 and 3. A lot of people were coping that the animators were just that keen on delivering a finely tuned product. And here we have it. Season 3 has arrived, and it's not firing on any cylinders at all. And the writing was on the wall, right? It's not like this was very shocking leading up to its release. During the 6-year time period where we haven't heard anything, yeah, we can hope. But a month prior to this anime coming out, we got no news of it. They were supposed to release a trailer. We never got one until maybe 2 weeks before the anime dropped. And that was all just PNG images talking. And then there was a whole Comic-Con panel where they said they were going to release exclusive footage and then they didn't. And then apparently one of the animators apologized for the quality before the anime even dropped. There were just so many red flags regarding this product. It's insane. And, for the trailer, at least we could be like, oh, it's just a trailer. They don't have to do anything crazy, right? And then guess what happened? That same week, when the One Punch Man trailer dropped for Season 3, the JJK Season 3 trailer dropped and it blew it out of the water. Bro, what? The minute I saw the stark contrast between the two trailers, I said, yeah, we're done, man. Yeah, One Punch Man fans are cooked. I've seen people coping saying animation's good. And I don't agree. Like I said, for me, it's passable. It's not as dog shit as people are saying it is. But it's just generic, right? It's just not what you'd expect from an IP like One Punch Man. And honestly, I'd even go as far as to argue that the existence of Season 2 and Season 3 hurt the IP more than it benefits it. Because season 2 and 3's animation has been so drab, I do think that in the future, if somebody's never heard of One Punch Man before, this might be the first thing they hear about it. Like, yeah, the animation's shit. Season 1 is great, but let me tell you, season 2 and 3 aren't worth it. And at that point, your average viewer would say, okay, I'm not going to check it out then. Yeah, why would I care about that at all? Like, that is the downside of it. I think that the existence of really bad seasons dampers the series more than helps it up. Maybe that's going to be proven wrong later. Like I said, we're only 2 episodes in. The fights could be amazing. But here's the thing. Even if the fights are god tier, does that really make up for everything else being bad? I don't think so. I think it equals out, right? Because we all want the fights. I think the fights are what people care about. But if the rest of the season, like all the talking, all the buildup is awful, then I think it's going to be like one of those things like, yeah, like the fights are good, but you're going to have to slog through all the trash. Like, I don't think that's still a good takeaway. I really don't. And it sucks to see, man. Like I said, I'm still hoping maybe the animation quality bumps up. You know, at this point, we can only hope that the fights are good. But as far as all the dialogue goes, I'm just expecting frame, small movement, mouth movement, done. Like, that's all it is. That's all episode 1 and 2 has actually been. And like I said, for me personally, I think it's fine. You know, I don't want people to say, oh, Sai, you hate One Punch Man. I don't. I'm watching it. I do enjoy it. But I understand that One Punch Man is only performing at a level that I'd expect a generic isekai or rom-com to be at. Actually, no, Yamada-kun is better than this. I don't know, man. You know, like, it's painful knowing what it could have been. I think that's the main issue. Like, you look at all the other popular, you know, shonen or battle animes out there, and it's like, yo, like, they're doing a lot better. Gachiakta, Dandadan, you know, Chainsaw Man, JJK, Demon Slayer, etc. Like, One Punch Man should be up there with those guys. But instead, it's like down here with Ragna Crimson, which I'd even argue Ragna Crimson's a little bit better, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just not great. Is it unwatchable? No. Don't let people lie to you and say it's unwatchable. It's just not anything to write home about, right? I don't think you could, with your chest, recommend One Punch Man Season 3 to your friends. Maybe you do, as like a meme. Like, hey, like, you guys want to just check out One Frame Man? Like, I think the memes are hilarious, but yeah, it is what it is. I think the fans... Which I like One Punch Man. I read part of the manga, and it's like, yeah, I love it, dude. I think it's a really fun IP. Even like the other manga verses, I think is a lot of fun too. And it's like, dude, like, it has so much potential that it's just not really enacting upon. And it sucks to see, you know? I feel like One Punch Man really could have been up there with the greats. You know, its name could have been written down in history, but instead, I think they're just tarnishing the IP more than anything. And I hate it, dude. I hate it. Like I said, even if the fights are good, I think it won't erase the negativity around the first 2 episodes. But that's just me. I've seen a lot of discourse around this. I just wanted to weigh in. Not good, not bad. It's just very, very, very aggressively mid. And for One Punch Man, we expected a lot more. Like, episode 2 had like 10 seconds of decent animation. But is that all we're really looking forward to? You know, oh, 20-minute episode, but hear me out. 10 seconds are fucking great. I don't think that's what the fans wanted, man. I think they wanted everything to be phenomenal. And we've seen other animes this year, this season, that have that quality. So I don't think it's asking for too much. I really don't. You know, people are saying, oh, anime fans are spoiled. Anime fans are spoiled. And it's like, I guess. But I just think people expect One Punch Man to be better than your average anime. And that's fair. Dude, it's a popular IP. What are we doing here? You know, like, it's so silly. Like, it's getting the Game Freak Pokemon treatment where Pokemon beloved IP, but for some reason Game Freak produces the bare minimum every single year. I almost bought Pokemon ZA. I didn't. I watched gameplay and I was like, yo, like, what the hell is this? It's 2025. What are we doing? And that's essentially what's going on here. Maybe they just expect One Punch Man fans to eat whatever's in front of them. And that's kind of true. I mean, I'm watching it, right? Like I said, for me, it's passable, but I know it's not good, man. I know it's not good. But that's just my thoughts. Maybe we'll do a follow-up video if things get better or by the end of the season. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about One Punch Man Season 3 so far. Are you hopeful? Are you not hopeful? Do you think it's actually pretty good? Or what's your silver lining, man? I'd like to hear it. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Just wanted to share my thoughts on this because I've seen a lot of discourse like back and forth. Like people defend One Punch Man, people attack One Punch Man. For me, I'm somewhere in the middle, leaning towards like negative. And like I said, that's just because One Punch Man should be up there with the greatest.